Do you know this famous rock singer? He was a member of one of the greatest rock bands ever, and he had everything: millions, fame, looks, the adoration of millions of fans, and he was even in a seemingly happy relationship. And yet, he took his own life at the age of 41. Actually, there are a lot of celebrities who ended their life despite having what most people desire, and there are countless others who suffer from depression, anxiety, and simply said, unhappiness. Okay, so take a look at this list. I mean, wow. You've got pop stars, massive actors, entrepreneurs, world-class athletes. These are people who are, without a doubt, at the absolute pinnacle of their fields, right? They have what pretty much everyone would call everything. But they all share something else, something that has nothing to do with their public success. And that's it. That's the common thread. Every single one of them has, at some point, spoken out about their struggles with mental health. We're talking depression, anxiety, you name it. And what that shows us is this huge gap between the shiny, successful person we see on the screen and the real human being dealing with their own inner battles. So this really gets to a core truth about being human, right? Let's call it the universal condition. It's this simple but powerful idea that just because you check all the boxes on the outside, you get all the stuff you ever wanted, it doesn't magically fix what's going on inside. Actually, a lot of times, it just shines a big spotlight on it. I mean, just think about it for a second. Once you're not worried about paying the bills, once you're not chasing that next promotion or that bigger house, what's left? You come face to face with yourself, and you realize there's this baseline level of human suffering that wealth, fame, beauty, power, none of it can touch. It's just immune. And you can't ignore it or buy your way out of it. You can't just throw money at the problem or hope another million followers will make it go away. Nope. This stuff, your inner world, it has to be confronted. You've got to face it head on because literally nothing else works. There's this amazing quote from Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj that just nails this idea. He said, "Your life outside is not important. You can be a night watchman and be happy. What is important is who you are inside. You have to win your own peace and your own joy. This is much more difficult than making money. No university can teach you to be yourself." Wow, winning your own peace? Man, that is so much harder than making money. That's the real game. So, are you with me? Or are you maybe sitting there thinking, yeah, that sounds nice, but come on, if I just had the money, if I just had that level of success, I'd be happy, for sure. Well, if you don't believe me, maybe you'll believe what Mike Tyson had to say on the Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark. I mean, this is a guy who was one of the most successful, most famous, wealthiest athletes on the planet. And what he learned is pretty eye-opening. They asked him about making like $30 million for one fight. And his take on all that money and fame, he said, that doesn't mean nothing when you don't have your peace, your stability, and your balance. Think about that. All those millions meant nothing without that inner foundation. It's all just worthless. He even went on to say the best 3 years of his life were in prison. Why? Because he finally had peace. His whole point is that sanity, that balance, you need it to run any part of your life. He sees it as a test from God, almost a punishment. You get everything you ever wanted just to see if you're strong enough inside to handle it. Okay, so when you hear someone like Mike Tyson say that, it kind of forces you to completely rethink things, doesn't it? We have to get out of this mindset that happiness is just a byproduct of success, like it's some reward you get at the end. It's not. It's a skill. It's something you have to train, just like anything else. So that begs the question, why do so many of these super successful, driven, smart people fail at being happy? It's actually pretty simple. They work their butts off to get to the top. They put everything they had into their careers, their companies, their sport, but they never actually worked at being happy. They figured it would just come with the territory, an automatic bonus. But that's just flawed logic, right? It's like expecting to be able to run a marathon just because you're a billionaire. It's absurd. The two things have nothing to do with each other. The only way you can run a marathon is if you train for it. And guess what? Happiness is the exact same deal. Or hey, here's another one. Can you get clean by eating a great meal? No. It's a totally different thing. And in the same way, you can't get happy by earning more money. You have to do the thing that actually produces the results you want. You want to be clean, you take a shower. You want to be happy, you have to work on being happy. So let me ask you a question, straight up. You shower every day, right? You eat every day. You have these routines to take care of your body. But what do you do for your happiness every day? What's your daily practice for your mind? And if you don't really have one, why would you ever expect to just be happy? Okay, so if we agree that happiness is a skill you have to practice, well, how do you do it? Let's break down a really simple framework, something you can actually start putting into practice. It really boils down to 3 simple steps. First, you have to decide that this is important, like really decide. Second, you need to understand what happiness even is. It's not just feeling good for a moment, it's a deeper kind of peace. And third, you have to practice it every single day. So, step 1, decide it's important. And I don't mean just thinking, yeah, happiness is nice. I mean making a conscious choice to put your time and your energy toward it, just like you would with your job or your health. You spend time on the things you decide are important. Let's make happiness one of those things. Okay, so what about step 3, the practice part? Here's a key idea. You don't really build happiness. It's more like you wash away all the stuff that's covering it up. Think of it this way. Happiness is what's left over when you deal with all the negative feelings, the stress, the anger, the anxiety. And you have to keep washing because those negative feelings, they don't just vanish on their own. If you don't address them, they just pile up, one on top of the other, kind of like dirt. And after a while, there's so much piled on top that it's almost impossible to feel that natural happiness that's buried underneath. All right, let's pull all this together. It's time to redefine what winning the game of life really means. It's not about how much is in your bank account or how many followers you have. The real game, it's played inside. And here's the bottom line. Whether you get everything you want in life or not, honestly, it doesn't matter if you're miserable inside. But if you find that inner peace, that happiness, then you've already won. That's the only victory that truly counts. I want to leave you with this incredible quote from Hale Dwoskin that just sums it all up perfectly. The happiness that is you is totally independent of what you have or do not have, yet it improves your experience of whatever you have or don't have. It's not about what happens to you. It's about the state you're in while it's happening. So that leads me to my final question for you. And it's a personal one. Not tomorrow, not next week. What is one thing, just one small thing, that you are going to do for your happiness today?